welcome. It is I, Anthea West, and today is the 11th of April 2021, and this is another entry to the DiaryCast. So, what has gone on in the world this week? You know, within the world and within myself. Anyway, so I hope you've all had a good week. I hope you're feeling well. I hope good things came to you this week, and if shitty things happen, I'm really sorry about that. So let's get some of the big world news out of the way first. So Prince Philip died. Alright, Prince Philip died. Yeah, so I am Irish, born and raised in Ireland, so I can very comfortably say I don't really give two pieces of dinglings about Prince Philip. All I care that is that he was part of a group that owned my country for a while, and he was also a huge racist. So, I have no much nice opinions about Prince Philip, so, you know, for the man who said openly and publicly, if you stay here much longer, you will all be slitty-eyed, who he told to exchange students who lived in, I apologize for this pronunciation, Xi'an, and also when he was asked about his opinions on Beijing, he called it ghastly, and that's of course just one of the many racist and overall just not very nice things Prince Philip has said in his 99 years he's been alive. Yeah, so, you know, ding dong, Prince is dead. Bye. There was also a lot of other stuff happened. There was a riot, or I like to call it protest, over in Northern Ireland. I'm not going to talk as much about this because I don't know the full story, but I do know from my news readings, it has obviously from the UK-EU Brexit deal, which Northern Ireland got super fucked over with. And really, it does not surprise me that people are pissed. So again, I don't know fully about this. I don't know whose side did what. But I do know that the Brexit deal has kind of fucked over the country. I was watching the news about the whole thing. And something that was said on the news really annoyed me. And it just kind of just emphasized what certain generations think of other generations going forward, trying to make political change in their own lives. So on the news they were talking about it, and one interviewer was trying to frame it as, and well, I'm not going to quote it, but very roughly was saying that, is this a result of teenagers being bored? And you cannot be so fucking ignorant, of what's going on around you, to put a push for political notice down to teenagers being bored. Even if, I don't really believe it is just young people who are involved in this, I highly doubt that, but even then, to downplay how they want to change their lives and how political charge the younger generations are and just saying, oh, it's just teenagers being bored, oh, they should just get back on TikTok and be doing their dances, is just so ignorant to me. And I wish I was a smarter, more elegant person to talk about this, but it's just really how I feel. You can't just be saying, oh, kids will be kids, oh, kids are silly, kids are just bored, when they are literally doing a protest on the street because their country is being fucked over by a more bigger country that is supposed to be like basically looking after them, but they're not. They're just like Northern Ireland has constantly been ignored and overlooked during the entire Brexit deal, and it's just ridiculous. I'm gonna move on because I really don't feel like I should be talking about things I don't fully understand, but I do understand that part that I talk about, at least I hope. Okay, so what else has happened this week? I'm not going to talk about new stuff anymore. Let's talk about me. That's what this diary thing is about. It's about me and my feelings. I don't know why I said it like that. It is. That is literally what this DiaryCast is about. Anyway, so I've been taking a social media break this week. Not that anyone noticed. I just popped off majority of my social medias. I don't think anyone even noticed that I'm gone, which is good and bad. I think it's part of the reason why I left, but also kind of I don't know. But basically, I think it was last Monday, I just felt suddenly very this is a feeling I've been feeling for quite a while, but it kind of just really hit me. I think it was Monday evening or Tuesday. I was just kind of like, what is the point of me doing all the things I do because no one sees them? And I know that sounds, I don't like talking about this too much out in the open, because very often I have people who they are doing their best to think that they're helping, but it always, because it's stuff that I know already, so it ends up just constantly being a bit patronizing. But I know when it comes to social medias and everything, numbers don't really matter, and that I understand that numbers don't all matter. How many followers you have and all that it doesn't mean that you're good or bad at what you're doing. It's just, sometimes it's good timing, or sometimes it's just people just clicking a button and that's it. And I know the numbers don't matter, but my problem is when I work so hard on so many things and no one sees it, and it just kind of really hit me. It just made me feel really depressed. So I just kind of decided, I feel like I've hit kind of like an unhealthy point between seeing myself as an artist and seeing myself as someone who puts their art online, and how my relationship with social media works is becoming a little unhealthy. So I thought for my best interests was to just get off social media for a week at the very least, and just, I don't know, do a cleanse or something. I don't know, feel very frustrated and just kind of sad. And I'm sure any artist online has felt or does feel like this, that there's so many things working against you for people to see your art. It's not so much, my feelings about it isn't so much about the numbers. It's just that I can never seem to gain engagement. Engagement is just it's always been a very hard thing for me to rum up? I don't know. To get people to take notice of my art and just make it feel seen. Another reason I don't really like talking about it is that for me, I worry that it comes off as a bit whiny. And I always have this imaginary person who will come up to me and why do you deserve to be looked at? Just be quiet, no one cares, your art is bleh, and it's this and this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was a kid, and this was a traumatizing story from my childhood. Not super traumatizing, but it affected me very much. But it's not a triggering thing or anything like that. I don't believe so. But when I was young, I think single digits, I was feeling very confident, and I was in school and I was skipping on a skipping rope, I don't know, I guess maybe I was just being a bit too arrogant for a 7-year-old. And I was declaring that I was the best at skipping and I was better at everyone else. A teacher decided to take me aside. She put me in a classroom on my own and she yelled at me to start skipping. And in the end of the day, I've always been a people pleaser and I was always raised to respect authority. So if anyone yells at me, I instantly become very upset and very scared, which is a condition I still am dealing with. But anyway, so as a 7-year-old, being brought into a room on my own with a teacher yell at me to skip on the skipping rope to demonstrate my skills, I wasn't very good at it because I was just very upset and very scared. So after I obviously failed this task to skip well, the teacher gave out to me even more, saying how dare I say I was good at anything if I couldn't demonstrate it there and then. I have to, be humble, don't ever be confident in a skill that you have ever again, is basically the takeaway from this. I think she was just trying to teach me to be humble. I'm doing quotation marks there because I have my own opinion about people trying to humble other people. I think it's a horrible thing to do to people. Basically, if someone's good at something, you have no right to go and tell them, hey, you shouldn't be allowed to feel good about the skill that you have. Fuck you. Be humble. Talk about it less. I think it's such a horrible thing to do to people, especially to people who are born AFAB or are represented as feminine. There's this huge thing of they must be humble. They're not allowed to just be good at things or display their confidence in their skills. They must always be humble. You can always see it on social media. If a woman is good at something and she is very confidently displaying it online, there will always be a group of predominantly cis white men will tell her that she needs to be taken down a peg and she needs to be more humble and just be shitty about it. Basically, that's my roundabout way of saying that even though I'm an adult woman now and I'm trying so hard to be confident in my work and display my work and not be scared to promote and not be scared of feeling somewhat entitled, being shown. I should be able to have people look at my work and tell me it's good because I work so hard on it. I'm scared that people are going to be like, no, Anthea, you're not, shush, Anthea, no. There's always that bit inside me that's telling me that, no, you have to be quiet, you're not allowed to be entitled, you're not allowed to say things like that. But I feel like if you work really hard on something and what you're doing is not hurting anyone, it's only adding, art or culture to things around you, I feel like you should be allowed to have people look at it, tell you that it's good, or for yourself to be able to say, hey, I did this thing and it's good and I like it and I'm happy with it. I think everyone should be entitled to that. Back to my roundabout way to get back to my original point, I've just been feeling just kind of sad and frustrated and just kind of overlooked on social media. Now, I don't know if, obviously there's no one to pinpoint this on. I can't say this person is ignoring me and I feel sad about it. Unfortunately, that is just how social media is made, especially with modern day social media. I'm talking about social media has been around for so long, but social media, back in the ye old days of internet, social medias weren't really a thing. It was just a whole bunch of different websites that you went on or different forums, and it was all kind of a big old free-for-all. But social media kind of unified things a little bit, and you can see that as a good or a bad thing in any way you want. But what the social media, the internet that we have today, is very different to the social media that I had grown up with back in the early 2000s. The way that algorithms work, it's so confusing to me. I don't I don't tend to really understand. Maybe there's a genuinely good reason for it because of coding, because of organizing resources and data, whatever. People who follow you specifically to see your stuff, should be able to see the stuff that you make. It should be able to appear on their dashboards, or whatever you call it, and they should see it. But the way majority of algorithms work, like maybe a third or half, if you're lucky, of people who are following you aren't even going to see the stuff that you make. And there's always these arbitrary rules that you have to follow for every single social media to make it so that when you post something, they see it because you did some magic routine of some sort to let the internet gods know that you are worthy to have your stuff looked at. And it's so frustrating. It's frustrating. And it can be so detrimental to how you see yourself and your art. Like, try to remember that in the end of the day, I'm a human being. I'm a human being, and I'm not just an artist. I'm not just a creator or a storyteller. I am me. I am Anthea West, and I have wealth. I have value beyond what I create for consumption of other people's eyeballs. But it's very hard to remember that sometimes. I've just been off social media for the week. I will be back probably next week, probably Monday or Tuesday I will be back, and I'll just be doing the whole game all over again. And I think, I was saying earlier, I think it's both a good and a bad thing that people haven't even noticed that I've disappeared. It's a bad thing because it shows me that, like, people are just not seeing my art at all. So me just not posting anything is nothing new for a lot of people. They're just not seeing stuff coming from me. That, or if I'm going to be really mean to myself, just no one gives a shit. But we'll just try and keep it very neutral, because in the end of the day, I'm just a random person on the internet. I don't think anyone has any particular strong opinion or visceral against me, so we'll just ignore that part and just blame how algorithms work. But a good thing is, sometimes when I feel bad and I just need to let it out in some way, I'll make a sad tweet. And I'm sure everyone has done a sad tweet at some point. It happens. And it's like, there's two wolves inside. Shut up, phone. There's two wolves inside me. One wolf is scared and shy and ooh-woo and doesn't want to cause any fuss and doesn't want anyone to know how my feelings are. I just want to not be perceived. And the other wolf is a raging egomaniac and just wants everyone to know exactly what I'm doing and exactly how I'm feeling all the time, have all their eyeballs on me at all times. Woof woof. And those two are constantly at battle within my head, and it's just kind of annoying and it sucks. So yeah, it's kind of like, I don't want to make a fuss, but it's also, why did no one notice? So I'm just making fun of myself, which is a bit mean. My feelings are valid. I'm allowed to feel sad sometimes, especially about like social media, because at the end of the day, if we're thinking in a capitalism mindset, I need to grow my numbers. I need to grow my engagement so people will look at my art more, buy my art more, support me more, so I can make an actual living off art, because that's really the end goal for me at the end of the day. Is I want to be able to make art and make stories all day, every day, and have enough money to live on so I can pay my bills and have a little bit in savings. God, that would be great. Having proper savings and just be like, this is the money for bills, this is the money for business stuff, and this is the money for fucking around. And that's the ideal, isn't it? And maybe another account for retirement. I don't know. I'm 30 something, and just the idea of I have nothing for retirement is terrifying for me. I have no investments. So, scary. I'm getting too real here. Ooh, no thanks. But yeah, so it's kind of like I also need my social media to be better so I can maybe make a living of my art and be alive, because this capitalism machine is just a hellscape. So yeah, so I took a break from social media because basically feeling frustrated, and also like my confidence in my art also went really down. I think generally I was just having a couple days where I couldn't just draw at all. I couldn't just even draw a simple character or head shape or whatever. I was getting frustrated with that too. So I took a break and I just decided not to let people perceive me anymore. And which I've gotten much better, and I've gotten inspired and gotten some work done, and that's nice. And I did some maintenance. What I call maintenance is when I do things that are not art but they relate to within my business stuff, I guess what you call it, like, you know, emails, setting up equipment, learning things, cleaning the office, you know, that sort of stuff. I finally set up the cutter. The cutter has been set up, people. Celebrations. It took like what? Several months. I've been saying it for weeks, for like 5-6 weeks, that I was going to set up the cutter, and I finally set up the cutter. The only problem is the cutter. It's really, I don't understand it. It really confuses me. Like I can draw a shape in the program that comes with it and have it cut out that shape. Grant, I can do that. The problem is when I physically print out something myself and then put it at the cutter, and then the data file that I have to put in the app to say this is the shape you're cutting is trying to align those properly. So what is shown on what is digitally shown on the app is exactly what I have on a physical sheet of paper that needs to be cut. I can't figure it out. It is so confusing. I've wasted so much paper trying to figure it out. I have my good friend. He also has one of these machines, so he's already done all this rigmarole, so he is going to help me. I might talk to him today about it, but I need to like physically talk to him, because like typing it out and having him say the marker is this and that, I don't understand it. My brain, I'm just not figuring it out, and it's driving me mental trying to do this. So I need to like physically ring him and physically talk. Well, when I say physically talk to him, I mean like actually like maybe like actually hear his voice so he can actually tell me what to do, because I cannot figure this cutter out. But it's set up. I did it. That was a goal. So good on me. I'm gonna celebrate. Yeah, arms in the air, waving like I just don't care. Yada yada. Yeah, but like, hey, that's something. Okay, that's something. That's a good thing. I'm also making some more merch as well. I got these charms in the post, and I got the little rings that have to go in the charms. So they're like 2/3 ready to go. I just have to wait for the ball chains to come in the post, which is, they're supposed to come this month, but I got them from someplace from an Asian country, so they're gonna take a little longer to get here, which is fine. I can be patient. But I'm also making notepads, which I'm very excited for, and I'm going to be making notebooks. So at the moment I'm designing some notebooks. I've designed one notebook cover at the moment. Basically it's going to be a series of probably 2 to 3 notebooks. I think is a good thing. It really depends on how much it costs me in the end, but I would love to do a series of 3, but it probably will be a series of 2 depending on the budget. But anyway, the designs are like, it's going to be a dust bunny series, but it's dust bunnies, like little dust bunnies out in the really big landscapes, and I just wanted to look really pretty, just cute little dust bunnies just in these big pretty colourful landscapes, like big meadows or by big waterfalls, just kind of hanging out in the wild. I saw a few artworks that have done something somewhat similar that really inspired me, so I've been working on it. I've done the first image that is up online on my TikTok. TikTok is the only social media that I've been on all week, and the only reason for it is that if I didn't have some sort of social media to watch random crap on and to waste time on, my brain would go mental. It would literally strangle itself because it needs that form of dopamine from just randomly getting random information over and over and over again. If I didn't have that, I would have gone mad. So I've only been on TikTok, that's it. And I posted some art and it's been going around, so that's nice. Hopefully maybe TikTok could be my site where people actually see my artwork. We're not going to get back into that conversation again. But anyway, the first image, it looks good, I do feel, but it's not exactly how I wanted it to be, which is like fairly like common. Like what you see in your head is never always going to translate exactly how you're going to get it on the canvas. But I'm trying a new method and a new style of art where it's very kind of flat, kind of paintery in a flat way, and I'm still getting used to how this painting, so I'm going to try the other two designs and see how they look and what I learn from the paintings overall. So if I learn like how to do this style better, I'm going to go back to the first design and redo it a little bit to get it more the way that I want it to look like. But I have to like actually keep making art for that to happen, because that's the problem with art. You only really get better at it unless you actually do it, so you have to constantly put effort into it. It's a cycle. It's an ongoing cycle. So we're getting close to the 30-minute mark, and I do want to say, if you haven't been listening and you listen to my whole sad, whiny frustrations through most of this podcast, I do want to thank you very much, and I do apologize. I know I kind of uploaded there a little bit, but unfortunately that's what the problems with a DiaryCast. The diary has my feelings on it, and those were my feelings. So like, if you felt the same or dealt with something with these similar type of feelings yourself, like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry this happened to you, because it's really rough to deal with, especially when like your whole life unfortunately revolves around creating on your art, and there's just so many feelings involved with it. It's very hard to separate your feelings from your art and from your career, unfortunately. So if you've also been feeling kind of overlooked and alone and frustrated with like social media and building a platform and audience and blah blah blah, like, I'm sorry you're dealing with that, but like, know that you're not alone. Like, so many people feel this too, and it's hard and it's rough, and the only thing I can suggest is maybe take a break from it and try and, I don't know, maybe separate yourself a bit more, or I don't know, dive into it. I don't know, it's really rough. I'm not a psychologist, but all I can tell you is I'm sorry, but you're not alone. But you're not alone. Sorry, and you're not alone. But is a negative word apparently, so you're not allowed to say but and's positive, whatever. So look, thank you for listening to my rant. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you've dealt with anything that I've talked about this week, or you want to talk about anything I mentioned in this podcast today, don't hesitate to write down in the comments, or chat with me online somewhere. You're totally welcome to. I am gonna go. I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm going to love yous, and I'm going to leave yous. I'll see yous all next week. Bye.